now. It's about that time.
Pre-record on my count. 7, 6, 5, 4.
Here we go, Roger.
And on Insights, two eyes in the middle. INSiiGHTS, where we always talk the talk.
This is Mickey Clayton, the coach, and I have with me the reporter, Pulitzer Prize winning. No, you didn't win. Runner up, top 10, nominated. But I just give up. You just tell me what it is. Then you do your intro.
Hello, my name is Rick Brown. I'm from Washington, D.C., and I'm just glad to be here, Coach.
Oh, you must have been drinking Mountain Dew today. You didn't have a Coke.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for reminding me. Be right back.
Probably too much Coke on the brain anyway. That's probably what it
Ooh-wee! What's happening, my brother? What's going on today?
It's always you. Like one of my assistant basketball coaches we had at FAMU. He said, boy, you got them things in your ears, your brain cells dead. Your brain cells dead.
I'm glad it was just in his ears and not in his mouth.
Homeboy, I would fight somebody so nobody would sit next to Jim DePlancher when I was assisting Willie Booker, because DePlancher was going to give me one. He was going to give me one. I don't care what. He was going to do that.
I bet.
But we have a very, very special guest, and his time is extremely, extremely limited, and he ain't charging me by the minute, thank God.
Oh, goodness.
But I'm going to need him to come in because he did agree to do this, and he's everybody at FAMU knows him.
Oh, my goodness.
Man.
If you don't know him, they claim to know him. You know,
I'll take that too. Because you know it was a time when nobody was claiming knowing me. That's still a compliment.
Welcome to Insights at MicknRick.
Welcome,
Coach. Man. How you doing, Coach? Good to see you.
If I was doing any better, I'd change my name to Roy.
Coach is one of them jobs like pastor, where no matter, once you've held the title, you're just that fair. It's like president. Obama ain't in charge of nothing. Why we still calling him president? He ain't got the job no more. I leave McDonald's, ain't nobody calling me McDonald's employee no more. Nobody says former.
He come on shooting fingers, don't he?
They don't ask her to say, and the fry master. No, they don't do that.
Yeah, it's like you might have been a bad president. It's been a bunch of bad presidents who we still have to address as president. I ain't calling y'all President Donald Trump. No, the dude. That's what I come to, dude. Old boy.
Oh, well, welcome, Roy. You know, you were part of an epic homecoming. Spoke at commencement, boy. How did that make you feel to come back home and do that?
To speak at Florida A&M as a student, to come back as an alumni and speak to the students, was an honor that it didn't hit me until I got to the podium or the lectern or whatever they call it. Now, when I got to the microphone and I looked out and I saw all the eyes looking back at me, the difference between comedy to me and something like that is that the expectation in comedy is zero. Oh, you may make me laugh, you may not. I hope you do, but if you didn't, it happens sometimes. People bomb. Nobody bombs at commencement. You're supposed to come up here and give us some knowledge and leave us with a little piece of fabric to make us better. It's a lot of pressure to try to pretend to be inspiring to some people. But I got up there and I just spoke from the heart, Coach. I'm very grateful and thankful to my time at the university. And, there are a lot of people in the administration, who thankfully see potential in students instead of giving up on them too soon. I mean, even yourself included, you and Alvin Holland and Marvin Green and Claudette Farmer, everybody over there in the old gym complex, as I like to call it, the old Gaither. um that time there was something I really, really appreciated. And I was my last 2 years of school, I was taking 15 credit hours within 3 days. I had figured out a way to condense my class load to Monday night to Thursday night so that I could go to the bus station Thursday night and leave town and do stand up. And then I needed Monday morning for the bus ride back to Tallahassee to take my Monday night class. And then somewhere in there, I sprinkled in Golden Corral. So I ain't go nowhere. I ain't go no parties. I didn't hang out. I didn't pledge. I missed everything my last 2.5 years of school. So when I meet people that went to FAMU, and you start doing the arithmetic. When was you there? All right, well, I was there from this year to this year. So well, why I ain't never see you? Because I was gone. That's why you ain't see me. So homecoming is always weird because I ain't got nobody to hang out with. I got a handful of friends, but I see them half the time when I perform in a city. So I'm not in a rush to go to homecoming because it's not a lot of people that I missed because I didn't hang with a lot of folk. But then what I learned on the journey, man, was just meeting so many rattlers and then going back to fellowship and commiserate with them. And this is a homecoming that just I realized it wasn't about me. It was about what I could leave the students with. Like that's what it was about. So I'm sorry for the long answer, but it really was a very meaningful watershed moment for me in my career, just in my journey as a man. To be able to learn a lesson, go out and live life and apply the lesson, and then be alive on God's green earth long enough to go back and pass that lesson, on to somebody else. The kids ain't gonna put it together till they 28, but the seed is in the ground.
But see, everybody doesn't. Wasn't your mom a teacher?
Yeah, my mom. My father was a journalism professor. My mom went to FAM for grad school.
Okay.
She was there. In fact, now my mom is a teacher. Yes, my mom is a teacher now over at Miles College. She's in administration. She's been there 30 years. So my mom been in Black College since the 70s. I think. Well, I take that back. She went to UAB for about 2 years. White folks was tripping, so she went on over to Miles. And made it work. But it definitely. Having two parents around that was, about that black college life. It was like, oh no, boy, we ain't gonna tell you where to go, but we're gonna tell you where you're not gonna go. And they just had about 40 schools on the fridge, and just pick you one of them. Let us know which ones you want to apply to. We'll go half on the application fee. My parents so cheap, they wouldn't even pay for
we're going half on it.
We're going half. We'll go half on the application fees.
Now, Roy, do you remember one time you were in my office and you were telling me, you said, Coach, I want to be a comedian. And I was like, are you serious? And you were like, yes, sir, I want to be a comedian. So I said, what are you doing? Well, my mama said she got a joke for me. I'm going to keep my butt at school till I get a degree.
Yeah. That was the agreement. It was tense when I first started comedy because, I was still in school and my grades weren't the most solid. My conduct wasn't the most solid. And so when you go to your mama and go, oh yeah, by the way, I know I've made mediocre grades most of the time through school. Like I think I had like a 2.3, 2.4 somewhere in there at that point coming out of sophomore year. Yeah, I know I've been wilding, but by the way, Joyce, I'm gonna be leaving town on a Greyhound bus from time to time and telling jokes to strangers and getting booed and then headed back to the bus station and come on back here to town to go to class for 7 hours straight. I would be in class from 9 a.m. to 5:30 with 15-minute intervals. I was the dude in class sneaking and eating food because I didn't have time to go to the calf. Just literally, I have to. But what it did, my schedule was so tight, I only had 1 day a week to study, and that was Wednesdays. So Wednesday night, I would sit my behind down, and I would study everything for that week and the next week in case I booked a gig, so I wouldn't be behind on my studying. And so I was dean's list the rest of the time I was in school, man. But the deal with my mom was at the time, I said, I know you don't like this. So here's the deal. If I make good grades, you cannot say anything to me about what I do off campus. Period. That's the deal. And my mom was just like, all right, fine. We'll see. And she thought I was going to come back with a 2.3, and I tricked her ass. I had about 4 A's and 1 B. Wasn't nothing she could do. I did so well. My mom, after my junior year, she put down on a car for me, man. And that really, word got back to her. I was sleeping in bus stations. And, you know, I don't care what you think about what your child doing. You don't want your child sleeping in a bus station.
Right.
And so she said, if I get you a car, how would that help you? And I said, well, it would give me, I could get home faster. I could spread my classes out a little bit more because I wouldn't need to condense to compensate for travel. And, you know, I was like, it was make sense. So she put down on a car. Now I still had to make the car note, but that and I don't think my mom will ever realize just how game changing that Ford Focus was. Like that literally changed the trajectory of my career and everything. But I do remember that conversation because there wasn't a lot of people I was telling. I only told people I was going to be a comedian. The only people I mentioned being a comedian to was people who thought I might have been funny or I might have made chuckle once or twice. But yeah, no, I definitely remember that because I didn't tell many people about what I was doing. Like I lied. Classmates, I heard you doing comedy.
Not me.
I ain't doing no comedy at FAMU out the gate. Like people, that's a big misconception about my career is that people think that I started doing open mics on campus. I did not touch a microphone on FAMU's campus for 2 years. I wasn't finna have y'all booing me and then got to sit next to you in class. Pass. I'm gonna take the bus to Atlanta because I know none of them live in Tallahassee, and I'm gonna go get booed up there. I'm gonna get it together, and when I'm ready, I'll have my comedy coming out party. You know, but you know, I would go over to Florida State and do stuff too. Though.
Well, tell me, what was your most difficult venue for you to perform in, and how did you overcome it?
There's a couple. I mean, you got rowdy black rooms, but that's just our people, and that's just a matter of, I call that substitute teaching. You just got to come at the class the right way, and they're gonna be with you. So it's not impossible. You just might have to switch to a southpaw to fight that night. You know, you got to change your style a little bit just for a second. For me, it's outdoors during the day. Just those two elements, you add that to any live performance, it diminishes it. Comedy is intimate. Comedy is something where we are trying to have a shared experience together. That's why it's all black, low ceilings. We're supposed to feel close to each other. The moment you put me outside in the middle of a college campus courtyard, at the earliest I've ever told jokes was 7:30 in the morning at Chattanooga State. And it was terrible. It was terrible. God bless the school for booking me and thinking we could do this. But it was like some morning class registration, rah, rah, rah. The kids are all up and going to register. And after you register, come watch comedy at 7:30 in the morning. And it's freezing and it's cold. And there's a radio station van, like 4 parking spaces from the stage, blasting music. And I'm like going over to the jock before, hey, man, would you mind turning down the Young Jeezy a little bit? I'm trying to do some jokes over here. I just need this check, bro. Because that's the thing with college gigs as well, is that you can't bail. You got to do your time. You cannot leave the stage early. So for me, it was like, oh, this is not fun in the least. And to this day, like I'm just not, outdoor at night is better, but an outdoor show during the day, the only thing missing that can make this worse is a tornado watch.
Oh, geez. And with a straight face, he says this.
And I bet you, and ask me if I'd stay on stage and do my time and still get my check. I bet I will. Tornado watch is different from a warning. You know, a watch is worse. No, warning, tornado warning. The watch is when they think the funnel going to drop down. Okay, then all right, I might shorten my time a little bit. But if it's a warning, I'm staying out there.
You still have you been able to come home and perform?
You know, Birmingham is kind of I have a different relationship with the city of Birmingham. Like, it's not that I don't care to perform at home. It's that I feel like I have a different purpose within the city. And so, for me, the thing that I'm trying to do is uplift Alabama with what I do. And so I've tried, over the years, I had a sitcom that was greenlit by Comedy Central, a sitcom pilot. And I fought, and the network, God bless them, they let me shoot a whole ass sitcom in the city of Birmingham. We had a crew of 90. 65 of those people were Alabama residents. We had a cast of 13 people. It was an all-black cast. Of that cast, myself included, 6 of us are from the state of Alabama or still reside in the state of Alabama. And so the politics involved in using my name to uplift the city or for the sake of charity or for the sake of getting other projects and initiatives there or getting other celebrities to be a part of stuff that's happening in Birmingham, I feel like my role and relationship to the city of Birmingham is more of an ambassador than that of dude that's from here that's on TV, because that's a different relationship. And so when you're coming back into a market over and over and over again to host some random charity event, to go to the school to read and interact with the kids, to do all of this philanthropic stuff at the state level and the local level, to me, that's more meaningful. And you can't keep coming to a market every other month and then turn around and go, all right, this time when y'all see me, it's going to cost $30. They're going to be like, Negro, please, I ain't paying no $30 to see you. I just seen you the other day. You was at, I just saw you at the Burger King. So, I could be, selling myself short at home, but I'm not really dying to perform at home. I'm dying to use the leverage that I create in other spaces to make home better for everybody else who's still there. So I'd rather do that than sell a ticket. And I just think that I show up too much and too often to try and sell a ticket. So it's probably been, I ain't performed. Last time I performed in Birmingham was 2013 or 14, maybe. It's been a while.
Roy, what would you say to the youth that watch this, they'll be watching this? What would you say to them when they get faced with challenges trying to follow their dream? Because trying to get that dream is never easy. And yours wasn't easy.
It's your dream. It's nobody else's. Those opinions don't matter, but your effort 1000% matters. I believe that most things that we do in our life or have the privilege of being able to do are a byproduct of how much work we're willing to put into it and our level of emotional fortitude to persevere when we're in emotional valleys. Half the people that ain't doing what they want to do isn't because they don't know how to do it or because they can't get the training. It's because they quit, because they give up. So you have to take that off the table. And even after that, you still need to be skilled. You still need connections and you still need luck. But first and foremost, you need perseverance and you need to surround yourself with positive people that are driven. That is the only piece of advice I tell young people. Anybody that doubts themselves will eventually doubt you. They got to go. I don't care if it's your mama. Just go, mama, I love you, and I'll call you later. Everybody got that one relative. When you stay on the phone with them just a little too long, they get a little negative. Stay on the phone. You ain't got to stay on the phone long to let nobody know you love them. That's easy. That's 30 seconds. Tell them about your day. Ask them about their day. When they ask you what you up to, just say some stuff. Some stuff. Don't get to specifics because then they're going to start poking at it and picking at it. So find the people in your life right now that have a goal, that have a North Star, and align yourself with them, because in the days when you are in an emotional valley, you're going to be able to draft off of them. When you ain't got the energy, you're going to see them still going hard, and it's going to make you go hard.
Now, great answer. Now, on the other side, what would you say to parents to make sure that they still support their child? How, because a lot of times parents don't really, as somebody said one time, the baby will have a dream if you didn't kill it.
Yeah,
They
I
can do
think you have to know when to support and when to give them space. Because sometimes the people that are chasing a dream don't know what they're doing either. And, as a parent, it's very easy. And I have a 5-year-old, so it's not the same one-to-one, but I can see it starting to happen where, as a parent, you want the quickest, simplest, most linear solution. Oh, you're going through this? Well, then this will fix it. What do you need? I will help. Sometimes by helping, you're hurting. You're prohibiting people from learning. And also, they need space to figure it out. Just whatever you do, just give them support, even when you don't agree and even when you don't understand. It ain't for you to understand. It ain't your dream. So even when you don't understand, if you can, get them that forward focus.
That's pretty deep there, bro. That's pretty deep there. Anything you want to ask, Rick?
Man,
go ahead.
Roy,
You were gonna say something, Roy?
Yeah.
no, I just wish that we were able. It's nothing wrong as a parent or as an administrator to be concerned with the well-being, and sometimes kids don't know when they're driving themselves off a cliff, but living on that edge, that is part of where the growth is. That is where the true opportunities lie. You got it to soar, you got to jump. And so, don't always be talking people out of jumping.
Ooh.
Okay. Wow. Roy,
Yeah.
how did you get into comedy? What inspired you to take this art form?
I don't know, man. It's just a calling, I guess. I don't know. Like, I just remember when Comedy Central signed on as a network in the 90s. I remember syndicated stand-up comedy shows was the bulk of their programming early on. And I just fell in love with it. I always knew I was kind of funny or chuckle funny. I use humor to diffuse a lot of stuff in school or whatever. And then I saw Sinbad on TV. Sinbad and George Carlin are the two comedians that I really remember watching like first and early on. I remember also AJ Jamal and Rondell Sheridan. Whoopi at the time was doing more stand-up. And these are the days when HBO, back in the day, children, once for one weekend every year, everybody in the country had HBO. It was crazy. For 3 days every year, everybody had HBO. It's called the free preview weekend. And that was how HBO would get you hooked on the dope so that you would hopefully subscribe to HBO. So every year for the free preview weekend, it was all of the best stuff that HBO had to offer, just stacked, just every blockbuster movie. And then they would give you one comedy special every time. And it would either be Carlin, it would be Sinbad, it would be Comics Come Home with Billy Crystal and Robin Williams and all of these different just Hall of Fame heavyweights. So I used to live for that. I would schedule when Birmingham Cable was sending a little cable preview, like let me take you back to a time, children, where the cable company sent you a guide to tell you everything that's coming on next month. And I would flip through the guide to see what's coming on, and I would go, oh, that weekend's HBO free preview. Bet you I'm gonna be home Friday and Saturday night because I'm watching everything that my mama wouldn't take me to the movies to go see. And I'm gonna watch Sinbad. So I was very aware of the art form early on. And just, the cool thing about college is that you get an opportunity to socially rebrand in college. No matter what you were in high school, you can just wash that away and totally change your offense. And being out of Birmingham and being around just basically, there was only 3 people from my high school at FAMU. And we didn't even hang out in high school. We were cool, but we weren't in each other's social circles. So I could change up without them calling me out and going, that ain't how you used to act. And so, that's when I got curious about stand-up. And what cemented it for me was in journalism, they make you take a public speaking class as part of the curriculum to graduate. And we had a run for a month doing nothing but impromptu speeches. And I would get up in front of the class and deliver impromptu speeches, and they would get a laugh. And the professor always accused me of deliberately trying to throw her class off. And I'm like, no, I don't know why they laughed. I just tried to give the speech. You said give a speech. I gave a speech. I'm sorry if they laughed, but that was the first hit of the dope, because by the third week, I was trying to make them laugh. It was deliberate at that point.
He said it was deliberate at that point. Well, I have to say, Roy, that you have imparted some knowledge on our show today, and I appreciate you. You know, I know that your time is real, real valuable, and I appreciate you sharing it with your old advisor and spending some time with us. I appreciate being able to keep in touch with you over the years and your support of watching our shows and our programs. And I'm sure you probably laugh a little bit at Rick, not at me.
Yes, sir. Indeed, man. Well, thank you all so much, man. Thank y'all for what y'all doing, and thank y'all for, reaching out to people and making sure that they staying on the straight and narrows.
Well, we appreciate you so much, and one day we'll have to have you back on again, and we really appreciate you, and we wish you as much success as humanly possible. We want you to have,
yes, sir.
You deserve that.
Indeed,
well, thank you, Coach.
Indeed.
Now, we appreciate you.
Brother Rick as well. Thank y'all a lot. Y'all have a good one.
All right,
thank
bro.
you.
Yes, sir.
And we'll segue into Hank's High School Review, another comic. I don't know who's funnier.
Yo, gentlemen, I am excited this week because the first round began last week, but it's also Florida Classic week. I've been victimized by my family for the last 9 years, but this has to be the year for my FAMU Rattlers. So I don't have a lot of time because I need to begin my preparations for the week. The first round is complete as teams pursue their quest for the ultimate goal, a state championship. So let's get to it. In 1A, Madison wallop Weehawken 35-0. No surprise there. In 2A, JP2 outlasted North Florida Christian just as predicted, advancing 41-35. In Class 3A, Florida High eviscerated Episcopal 55-13. You like that one, Rick, didn't you? Eviscerated.
I like that word. SAT
In
word.
4A, Gadsden County proved me wrong, ending Andrew Jackson's season 16-14. Moving to 5A, Wakulla pile drive Bishop Kenny 52-14. And in 6A, Rickards' season was ended 26-7 by Pine Forest. But the Lincoln Trojans went to Gainesville and mollywopped them 34-7. In South Georgia, Washington County was no match as Thomasville wasted them 42-0. Now this sets up a matchup versus Heard County at home, and I'll take Thomasville. And Brooks County had no problems with Munroe, mashing them like potatoes 49-13. I will also take Brooks County this week because I believe they will bring the hammer, but they will have a tough test versus Washington Wilkes. Now back home, Madison travels to Port St. Joe. You know what time it is. I'll take Madison. JP2, they will travel to Trinity Christian. Now Trinity hasn't beaten anyone in Tallahassee this year, but that was in Tallahassee. I think it's going to come to an end this week. I don't think JP2 will have enough. Munroe earned a bye last week and will welcome University Christian to town. I'll take Munroe. Gadsden County proved me wrong last week, and I couldn't be more thrilled. But this week they face their nemesis on the road again at Bowles. It's just so tough to beat Bowles. But they did lose their last 2 games of the regular season. And they only beat Gadsden County by 2 points last season. With that, I'm hoping it's time for Coach Fuller to break through. So I'll take the Jags. Florida High will take on Walton, and I have no reason to believe the Seminoles will not prevail. I'll take Florida High. Now this is where it gets tough for me. Wakulla will travel to Jacksonville to face Rains. As much as I like to pick Wakulla, it's going to take a major movement to defeat the Vikings down there. And they've been blowing out their opponents in their 8 wins, which indicates they are explosive. Wakulla is going to have to control the clock as they typically do. But if they get down, I don't think they'll be able to be just as explosive. So with that, I have to take Rains. And finally, I do believe that Lincoln will get revenge as they travel to Mosley. I'll take the Trojans. Now on the college front, Miami. 4th and 14? See, this is why I can hardly watch that crap. Just shameful. Congratulations to Florida State. This week, they'll travel to Boston College. And now, finally, we can talk about the elephant in the room. I'm so excited and fired up. I've been quiet all year. One game at a time has been the mantra. But now it's here. And I have no doubt that my FAMU Rattlers will go to Orlando and it will be party time as they will finally break the 9-year curse because Wildcats only got 9 lives. Hey, y'all asses is on the clock. See you next week.
He said they only have 9 lives. He said they only have 9 lives. Earl, my bad. Thank you. Thank you.
Say you needed that one.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
Oh. And staying with that same theme, let me bring to you Remembering the Legends.
With this being Florida Classic Week, the regular season ending football contest between the Florida A&M Rattlers and the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats, doing a segment on this legend was a no-brainer. It is a guy who shined on and off the playing field, and a man Coach knows very well. This week, we pay tribute to former Bethune-Cookman Wildcats football and women's basketball coach, Alvin Shine Wyatt. And look, you look on the sidelines of most college football or basketball games, and the coaches are wearing either polo shirts or khaki pants or shirt and tie. At times, the head coach could get lost amongst all the team. Yet if you ever saw Bethune-Cookman during the late 70s through the early 2000s, you could always tell where Alvin Wyatt was. Known for his stylish clothing, including shades, Wyatt often looked like he was ready to go to the hottest party rather than coach his alma mater. But don't let the threads fool you. Wyatt was not only a hell of a coach, but he was a solid player as well. Born in Jacksonville, Florida in 1947, Wyatt was a 6th-round pick of the Oakland Raiders as a defensive back. He played 2 seasons in Buffalo and 1 with the then Houston Oilers. He returned to Cookman in 1978 to take over the women's program and took over as men's head football coach in 1997. During his time reigning the sidelines, Wyatt led the women's team to the 1984 MEAC title and holds the all-time women's mark in victories at the school with 245 wins. Now you know you're a bad man when you have an entire offense named after you. In football, backed by the Wyatt Bone, an option-based offense, Wyatt led Cookman to a MEAC title in 2002 and back-to-back playoff berths in 2002 and 2003. And yes, Wyatt is also the all-time leader in football victories as well at the school. As I said, he has substance to go with this flair and was inducted into the MEAC Hall of Fame in 2020. Whether styling on the sidelines or dancing after beating his arch rival FAMU in the Classic, Wyatt had a style that is unmatched by anyone and a competitive spirit to match. This is what makes him a legend.
Good job. Good job. Good job.
Tell me about him, Coach. I mean, you faced him numerous times on the sidelines. I mean, it was always a show when he would stroll in with his entourage. Um, just talk about facing him, man.
Oh man, how long do we have?
As long as you need, man.
Alvin was an interesting guy, and we were friends. People didn't know that, but we were friends.
Wow.
When you played in the conference, everybody who came played us on Saturday, Cookman on Monday. So if they played Cookman on Saturday, they played us on Monday. It switched. So Sunday, we'd be on the phone for hours because at that time you didn't have video and all that kind of stuff and tape. And we dissected everything that we just saw and told them each other how to handle the team we were going to play. Now, we went at each other, but we had a mutual respect for each other. And I remember, there's so many stories about Alvin. I remember we were in Daytona one year, and see, they actually separated the A&M Cookman game. Back in the day, the Florida Classic on
Friday nights.
Friday night, we had a doubleheader.
Mm-hmm.
And you couldn't get in the gym. You could not get in the doggone gym. I mean, it was packed. But as it is with our rivalry, because both teams really went after each other. Now, one thing he always had jump shooters. He always had girls shoot that sucker across the half court. I'm good thinking the 3-point line wasn't there. But we were in Daytona, and I loved their spirit in the gym. Okay? So our fans were in the gym. It's raining, it's storming. It's storming. Cookman Gym leaking. All right, Cookman Gym leaking. They got towels on the floor. You running down the side break, jump over the towels, keep on running fast break. The Greeks in the corner with the towels, they got their umbrellas up and they just jamming like this. The Greeks just having their own good time, right? I'll never forget long as I live. And so the fans, they were going back and forth with each other. So our fans started buy a gym, buy a gym, buy a gym, buy a gym. And then their fans will holler back, get a job, get a job, get a job. Then our fans will holler back, GPA, GPA. So I'm sitting there, the game hadn't started. It's packed. The game hadn't started. So we're sitting there, I'm looking at my assistant coach, Ralph Coleman, and I said, man, where's Shine? Clock ticking down, clock ticking down. All of a sudden, the gym goes in an uproar. Just an uproar. I said, Shine must have walked in the gym. So I looked down, and he had on the tuxedo pants. He had the cummerbund on. He had the white shirt with the ruffles, the maroon tie, and he came in and he was pimping. I said, "Oh Jesus!" Our fans start hollering, "This is not the prom. This is not the prom." I was done. Not the prom. This is not the prom. Oh. But see, Alvin has always been, he said, I'm the only one who remembers when he was at the World Football League and they had him in Jet magazine. And he had the little stack heel shoes with the hole drilled in the shoe with water and a goldfish in each heel. Whenever I tell him that, he get mad. So you the only one remember that. I didn't know who he was then. I just always remember that picture in Jet magazine. And he hated FAMU. He said, man, if I'm going down the interstate and I see a FAMU tag in front of me, I don't care if I got to drive 140, I'm going to pass them. They not going to beat me doing nothing.
That's what made him so fun, man. I love talking to him before the classic week. And because during the season, I'll talk to him every now and then on players on the team. And he was always calm and cool and, well, yes, he's going to do well and da 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 da. Classic week. Oh, he was a salesman. You talk about Don King and all. Nah. And you said it. His hatred for FAMU, whether it was a sales job or whatever, it came across. And I never told him I was a rattler for fear that he would just cut me off because he was just like, oh, I just can't wait. Oh man, yeah, Billy Joe beat us 63-0. I can't wait to get him. And oh my. Okay, coach, you got it. You got it. Oh, he was awesome, dude.
And he made a can't miss event when they had a coach's luncheon at the pregame. Oh, there's 5 or 6 stories about that. It was, you went to the coach's luncheon if you didn't go to the game, because it was going to be something at the coach's luncheon. And that Alvin Wyatt, we have some. I got an interview with him up there right now. I mean, Alvin is. I have been a person that they have called. They're doing a book on him. They get some comments about it. Alvin's a good friend. He's a Cookman guy. You cannot hold that against him for his love for his institution.
Nope.
You know, sometimes we can love our schools too much, but Alvin paid his dues. He paid his dues.
Awesome.
Now that was one of you did a real good job with that show, and you did a good job on that, Rick. That might be your best one to date. They keep getting better, but that was pretty good. That's gonna be hard to beat that one on Shine. That's gonna be hard to beat that one. Now, in staying with our high school and our high school preview, we have a preview that we did with Robert F. Munroe. And we did it with Dimitric Salters.
Okay.
And Dimitri I've known and for a while. And I almost forgot he was at Munroe. But I was able to get him and to get an interview with him and to talk about what is actually one of the better programs in this side of the state. But we have him, and he gave an interesting interview.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, due to modern technology, we interviewing a Zoom meeting here with Quincy Munroe, with Coach Dimitric Salters and 2 of his budding stars. And we doing it from 4 different locations. You know, sometimes I kind of like this Zoom thing because I ain't got to go all the way over there to do the story. But I'm here with them today, you know, with INSiiGHTS, doing our preview of basketball. And we can't do it without following and keeping up with Coach Dimitric Salters. And Coach, I'd like to welcome you and Munroe High School boys basketball to INSiiGHTS.
Thank you for having us, Coach. We're glad to be here.
Okay. Your guys, you know, they got a little personality going for them. I don't know which one more personable, Cameron or Dion. You know, Cameron always got a smile. Dion be a little bit on the suave side, but Coach, tell me a little bit about, you know, what's going on over there. You're coming off a 17-4 season. Your first year over there, you were 13-11, so you 30 and 15 over 2 seasons, and you lost some seniors, Coach. How good are you going to be this year?
That's a good question. We'll be better than we were last year in a number of different areas. I think we'll have, the first thing is to buy in. When you have so many seniors and so many guys that don't quite buy in like you need, then you're going to have some situations you had at the end of the year. But this year we got some young guys that are willing to buy in. We've got some proven leaders that are sitting before you right now. You've got 2 senior guards. This will be a 3rd year on varsity. So putting the counter back in their hands. We've got a good group of young kids and a few surprises here and there that can get us through where we were from last year. Class 2A is really a tough classification. So you've got to have some confidence. No need to say we're building. There's no such thing as building. You got to get it done.
I know that you have a real strong commitment to the youth of the day and dealing with the student. Tell us a little bit about how that has manifested itself in you in terms of your love for the kids and trying to help them grow. And
funny, when I got done playing professional basketball overseas, it wasn't my goal to really get into coaching. I just wanted to be able to come back and impact my community in a number of different ways, maybe just through mentorship, collaborating with some people in the community. But Coach Clement Johnson, a good friend of mine, decided that I should get into coaching. I'm quite glad he did get me into coaching. And from that point on, it's been all about the community, helping young men. We want to see young men not only get a high value education, but we want to see them become great husbands, great fathers one day. We want them to be model citizens and leaders in our community. So basketball has been a great avenue for me. I'm really proud to say that the young men that we've mentored to be able to motivate, inspire, and coach, they've gone off to get their, not only high school diplomas, but their college degrees. I can sit here and truly say that. We won a lot of games, had a lot of individual compliments in my career, but right now the biggest thing is still watching these young men. I mean, this is my 17th year, so watching these young men come from boys to men and become great husbands and great fathers. So that's the biggest glory I get out of coaching. I think that's why I want my legacy to be remembered as somebody who gave everything they had to young people, to the community, as well as to those people who have a vested interest in young people.
Okay. Well, Coach, tell me about these two young men that you decided that you wanted to highlight today. Tell me about these two young men that are on the screen with us.
I think I couldn't have, like I said, I've had the chance to know these young men since they're probably about 6 years old, through camps, through mentoring. And I'm just fortunate to have them be a part of my team. They're two really, really humble young men. In Poland, they're great academic students. Like I said, both will have earned their AA degrees before they graduate this year. Both are, like I said, the Big Ben players, all Big Ben, and they've become top 50 basketball players in Class 2A this year. In Poland, they have several interests from several schools, so it'll be up to them to decide where they want to go. But I'm just glad to be able to have a chance to love them, mentor to them, and do some great things in their life. And they haven't disappointed me at all. And I think people are going to see these kids come out this year and really lead Munroe and take us to where our goals are this year.
Okay, I'm going to do this a little different. Dion?
Yes, sir.
I want you to introduce and tell us about Cameron. And I want you to tell us about him. And on and off the court, look, Cameron's already laughing like he's afraid of what you might say. I want you to tell everybody about your teammate Cameron.
Well, Cam is a great person. First off, before just personality wise, he's great, funny, and once you get to know Cameron, you'll see what I mean. But for the most part, he's a great person first. And then is a phenomenal basketball player second. And I love having him as my teammate. And then most of all as a friend. So.
Okay, you handled that well, Coach.
Yes, sir.
He did okay there. Cameron, it's your turn. I need you to tell me about Dion.
No problem. Dion is a person, is first of all my brother, and I love playing basketball with him, love hanging out with him at all times. He is someone that puts others before himself on and off the court. He's very loving, and he loves making the flashy pass. He loves setting his teammates up. That's one thing I love about him, But just off the court, real funny dude, great personality. Love being around him, and I love having the opportunity to call him my brother.
That's good. I appreciate the closeness between you two. Who's the team clown?
Probably
me.
Oh, both of them say. Oh, Coach, both of them say they're team clown. Coach, which one of them the team clown?
Oh, actually, it's more of Cameron, I think. Because Cameron has this sneaky way of not pretending to be somebody that flashes external light, kind of introverted, but he's sneaky. So I think it's Cameron.
Which one of y'all do the best? Do the best Coach Salters imitation?
Me, most definitely.
Dion.
Oh, you most definitely.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Dion, tell me what it's like to play for Coach Salters.
To play for Coach Salters is people might think that it's tough, but it's actually really, really fun because for him to always be on top of you about what you're doing wrong or what you need to do better, that's something that me personally, and I know like Cam, that's something that we love. We love for somebody to push us hard every practice, every single rep. If we get something wrong, he tells us to go back and do it and until we get it right. So I think that's something that's really fun about playing for Coach Salters, and also his dedication. Just his dedication as a not only as a coach, but he's like a father to us. He that we look up to him, and just off the court, whether it's him giving us speaks about how it is out the real world, and just the conversation that we have that's not about basketball is just it just brings us closer. So playing for Coach Salters is great.
Dion, tell us something that Coach Salters has told you that really has affected you, that you've kind of held on to, that he's told you that you think it makes a difference in how you look at life.
One thing Coach Salters always stresses to us, and it's something for basketball, but it's something that I can take with me in the real world, that the game is 90% mental and 10% physical. And that 90% mental can not only does it play a part in basketball, but it also plays a part in the real world too. In the real world, a lot of things that you go through is mental, something that you have to think about and process. But once it finally clicked in my head, that's something I could carry with me for forever.
Cameron, tell us something that Coach Salters has told you or helped you with that you thought you might have had trouble handling until he was able to talk to you and help you be able to resolve
it. Something that Coach Salt really has just instilled in me over the years of me knowing him is just really my work ethic. He really drives the point, like, if you don't work, nothing comes easy. Nothing comes easy. You always got to work. You got to give 110% every time you step on the floor, and even in other aspects of life, in the classroom, with family, just anything. Just make sure you handle your business and get everything done. Work now, play later, pretty much. That's how it is.
Okay, as you look at the schedule and the past schedule you had, who do you have on your schedule? I know every game is big, but who's the game you look forward to more than anybody else?
The game I look forward to is probably the Crossroads game, Battle of Gadsden County type thing.
Is that a game that a lot of people come to see and support that one?
Yes, sir, for sure.
Okay. Are those the kids that you grew up with? Are you from Quincy? Where are you from?
No, sir. I'm actually originally from Tallahassee, Florida, but I do know a good amount of people on the Crossroads basketball team. So
tell me who the top two teams are in the area. Smile on your face now, so you look like you're real serious there.
There you go, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, change it up a little bit. You got to hear it.
See, y'all do know about Mike Tyson, right, fellas? Yeah, that's where your coach looking. He ain't got no grin, nothing. You just got that scowl.
No. It's that time. You go home early. You know how it is. You got to build a patient. You know how it is. So
yes, I do.
Got to be showing teeth right now. Right now, I've got to go. Number one, I've got to go with the God of Cougars. I got a ton of respect for him. I call him my little brother. Very hungry, very passionate. He's got great vision. So Gabi, number one. Number two, I'm going to go with Coach Ken Parker and the Crossroads team. I think he's done a phenomenal job over there at Crossroads. So I'm just going to go on my hat with those two, Gabi and Crossroads.
I appreciate having an opportunity to get to know you some. I look forward to seeing you play. And we hope that as we go through the season, as we release this story on you next Tuesday on our show, next Tuesday at 7 o'clock on INSiiGHTS, We hope that people get a chance to see you and become more curious about you and want to come out and see you play.
Yes, sir. Thank you,
Coach, for having.
Sir, thank you.
Y'all welcome. Y'all welcome. Coach, we appreciate you. If it's something we could do with INSiiGHTS, let me know. If it's something I could do, as Mickey Clayton, it's done.
Amen. Thank you, Coach. You've done more than enough over the years, and I want to again thank you for all your dedication and community service, and your continued community service by spotlighting great student athletes in our community, as well as other ventures in our community. God bless you. Keep up the good work, man, and we'll be talking soon. Okay.
Yes, sir, Coach. I'm gonna hold you to that.
Okay. Yes, sir. Take care, Coach.
Gentlemen, we'll see you later.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You have a good one.
Thank you. You too. You guys interviewed well, didn't they?
They did. They did. That was fun. That was fun listening to that.
I enjoy, this. We do a lot of things, but the kids talking. When we do the interviews, I have to edit so much of it because we end up talking 20 to 30 minutes.
Right.
And I usually try to make sure I put as much of what the student athletes say as possible because it's about them. And you just have to really kind of feel good about the way some of them have interviewed and expressed themselves. And doing those interviews, I remember the little 10th grade girl at Ricketts who spoke so well, and the two young ladies from Florida High who spoke well, and it's just the kids themselves. That's what the show is about, and I just really am elated that over the years we've established some relationships with some pretty good coaches. We always wanted to do this with football. But football coaches their time is so limited, and they have so many people that they're, running that program. It's really hard to get them away to do something. We have a few coaches that are always available for us, but to get them and talk to the student athletes, this is hard. But basketball is kind of my passion anyway. So, getting to know them, and the coaches I know a lot better too. So. Oh, look at it. See, there you go. There you go.
Stays close to me.
I know that's right. Rick.
Good job, Coach. Good job.
Thank
good
you.
show today, Coach.
Thank you.
Good show.
Thank you.
I want to thank Roy Wood Jr. for taking some time out to spit knowledge. for real. And Earl, as always, thank you. Thank you, Earl. Thank you. 9 lives. I can't wait to use it. I'm using it in about 10 minutes.
It's in about 10 minutes, huh?
In about 10 minutes.
I say the lives are done, huh?
Yeah. They fall this time. Yeah.
But speaking of that, with your FAMU hat, I don't know if you saw the message on the pick'em board that Todd said on there, said, "Not today, Rick." But see, you and Todd, y'all both picked 6 winners last week. That list. You had 6, Todd had 6, Les and I had 5. Kevin dropped off, the Land dropped off the 4, and Clifton went on and did his. But I'm gonna have to revoke him. He only had 3. He's right there with Sports Diva. They both stumbling on it.
Wait a minute, with who? Who did you say?
The Quiet Sports Diva.
Who's that? I haven't heard anything from Sports Diva. What Sports Divas? Where are you, Diva?
You got a 4-game lead over her now.
I told her she should have come on. Well, what did Roy say about drifting? About when you're falling behind, you got to drift.
You got to drift.
Come on.
Man, because right now Todd Lampley he got 47, and then you 2 behind him at 45. The Land and Les at 42. Sports Diva 41. And Coach just bringing up the Rizier. even if I had put save on my first week, it wasn't gonna put me in the money. Oh, Sports Diva got a message on here. Elbow cough. Now I don't know what. That's something between y'all. There she is. Elbow cough.
I tell you, it's nothing but love, Sports Diva. Nothing but love. Hard. We cool.
Well, next week, we got the other side of Munroe. We have the girls' coach coming on next week. We have them coming on, and then we have something with remembering the legends with Avery Johnson,
the little general.
Boy, that Rick Brown fell in there. He sends them to me. We're able to get them edited up and ready to go. We running ahead of time. See how we can tell you who you got next week? That's because of Ricardo, as they told me, as the Miami blog said. That's Ricardo.
Don't get used to
it. All you gotta do is keep sending them each week, and we fine. We ahead of schedule. We keep sending them each week. We ahead of schedule. Oh, the last thing I gotta say: do you see all these coaches getting fired? Oh my God, they not wasting any time firing them. You know why, don't you, Rick?
Why?
Because they didn't fire him last year because of COVID-19. They
short
fired
leash.
Very few coaches with COVID-19 in. They wanted to be sympathetic towards their coaches. Man, they ain't wasted no time firing people now. They ain't wasted no time.
The landscape is definitely going to change for next season. All throughout. Oh well. Hey, but didn't they say that? Isn't this a saying? You're not a coach until you get fired, though.
Yeah. Well, I guess some people like myself are real good coaches. Many times we got fired. Oh, there's a Sports Diva came back and said, "I ain't scared of no stinking Rick.
I ain't never scared. I ain't never scared. I ain't never scared." All right, Bone Crusher. I hear you.
Yeah. Did you see where Eddie George is being recruited by the University of Akron? University of Akron wants Eddie George to be their next head football coach.
I don't know if that's a move up or not. I mean, Akron has a nice program.
Akron been struggling, but see, that's that old he played at Ohio State mentality. He played at Ohio State mentality, and they think that they'll be able to generate a lot of support. And he's won at Tennessee State this year. And then you got Deion survived the first round of interviews at TCU, and he had a $400,000 contract, of which I think he has to pay half of it back if he leaves. But that's like chump change to Deion.
Yeah, that's his commercial money with Coach Nick. Aflac.
And then, then they were wondering about that leg injury he was having. Deion has a vision. I can't bother Deion. And he's gonna get the experience, and he's gonna be able to move on, and he's gonna be able to do whatever he did at Jackson State. He owes them nothing because he helped put them back on the map. They've had strong programs before now. Not like Jackson State has not been good. They have been good.
Right.
Yeah. But the FAMU Cookman game is this weekend. It's going to be very interesting.
Very interesting. And first year in the SWAC, facing an opponent that you haven't won in a long time. No matter what you've done this year now, it comes down to this game. Coach Billy Joe said this, his first year FAM, he lost homecoming and the Cookman. And he said those handshakes that he was getting turned into one finger salutes. and he rectified that. So Coach Simmons, as a reporter, I'm usually unbiased. I'm biased this week. Stomp them cats. That's it. Love you.
You say what?
Love you.
I know that's right. Hey, There's nothing else to say after that.
Stay up to date with the latest from INSiiGHTS. Visit our website at INSiiGHTS.com. 2 I's in the middle, INSiiGHTS.com.
INSiiGHTS is a copyright of Mac4 Enterprises, a Florida corporation. This broadcast is produced under the exclusive ownership of Mac4 Enterprises and is the intellectual property and trademark of Mac4 Enterprises. Comments of the host and other individual speakers on INSiiGHTS represent their independent thoughts and representations.
Until next week, Coach.
FAMU. Fam. Come on.
All right.
See you next week.
Peace.